Yes, indeed. Once again, it's on.
Welcome to Think Champs.
Yes,
Episode
indeed.
2, baby.
Oh, yes, indeed. Call this the second round, you know? Enough respect. All checking in. We are here. Good day, boys and girls from coast to coast and around the whole wide world. Welcoming y'all all to Vegan Dream Donuts, also Strong Drink Vegan Juice Bar, where we make drinks, not soft drinks, but strong drinks. Drinks that make you think. Something to get into that mental, that spiritual, also get you into that vitamin, nutrients. That's what we do here, Strong Drink Vegan Juice Bar. We got some strong drinks on the table, not soft drinks, you know. Because soft drinks is in the store. You can see them on the shelf all day, purple, green, yellow, blue, pink. But there's not a real fruit in none of those bottles. They got like bottles out there with big mangoes on it. Not one mango in the bottle, but it's all big mangoes on the cover, you know? So all these drinks here is strong, you know? Strong for the body, strong for the system. That's what we do with Strong Drink Vegan Juice Bar, you know? And right here, we got the Think Champs, we thinking. We got black men, you know what I'm saying? Strong, intelligent black men holding it firm from all corners of the earth. And we here building. I'm thankful to see this, man. This unity of our people. Got my partner in liberty and life, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Rebel with a cause.
Exactly, no D.
Peace, family.
Next brethren checking in from the shores.
305 Miami.
The 305, yes indeed, Malik Shabazz. Coming in strong. I got next brethren out here, Mr. Anderson.
That's right.
Yes indeed, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, we got real thinkers out here, you know what I mean? Real brothers coming to think and talk to you about some real things, and we building today, you know what I'm saying? But we're going to get to that point. But the topic today we're going to focus on right now is reparations, you know, and also repatriation. Because I want to really know, here's a question, my brothers, right? Why do black people don't want reparations?
Well, I'll say this, it's not all black people.
Okay, let's get to the point then, because I'm trying to figure out, when I look into this state of America we living in, right?
Okay.
When I look to the point is when it gets to the table, because we had a table, right? Because, you know, these people get to a table and they discuss their policies, right? But the thing with these people with their policies is that they discuss things, but nothing ever gets done. You know? Yeah, it's all talk. You know what I mean? They get in their big Chris suits, whether it's red or blue, and they come in each day and get a check, right? But there's no decisions being made. Minimum wage is still the same in the 90s that it is still to this very day. But yet, but this is real, you know, this is real things, you know. And we ain't talking about what they telling you. We telling you what's really real. Minimum wage is still the same right now in this day, right? Than it was in the 90s. $10 then is the same $10 now.
Due to inflation.
Right? We're in the 20s, right? This is 2020.
For the past 40 years, that's how it's been.
So we looking like 30 years of minimum wage still being the same, and these people sit in their office every day. And they come out, they still can't make a decision to raise the minimum wage, but yet gas is higher.
Yeah.
The cost of living is way much higher. You know what I mean? But the cost of us even transporting ourselves from one era to the next, even martyr. They say martyr smarter, right? You know how expensive it is now just to ride martyr train from one era to the next, so I'm saying.
Just like New York.
But you gotta get that same check.
Right?
Yeah.
Each way, right?
Each way.
What was it over here?
Right here is 250.
It's 250 that New York?
250, yep, right here. And we ain't even got no big train you on. You going right from west to east and
West
south
to
to north.
east,
So my thing is saying that even the gas prices is ridiculous. Now back in the day, you say in the 90s, you put $10 in the tank, $20 in the tank, you ride now for at least a week. At least a week.
I tell you, I remember getting gas in 1989 when I used to be in the military, 89 cents a gallon.
Right, but I'm saying for a whole week,
man.
you ride in your big vehicle. We talking about big vehicles, not a little tanks, you know.
Yeah.
You riding $20 for a week, right? $20 now gets you from one side of the town to the next and back. And the gas is about to be ready to just be, not a full day. You can't even get a full day with 20.
Okay.
So my point is saying that everything is raising but the cost of living is still, we still paying, getting the same pay. So I'm saying, why would black people want reparations, something they deserve anyhow? Because of the suffocations we get, we not getting nothing. They come to the table with all these things. I don't even care about the minimum wage, to be honest with you. I prefer more they talk about reparations. Because I can see that being more lucrative for us as a people. Getting pennies over an hour of work, that ain't gonna add up to me. You know what I'm saying? But for the sacrifices my people went throughout slavery, throughout the whole African, slave trade, which they don't want to give any props to, like it never really exists. So I'm saying, as us as a people, why won't we stay focused on that? You see what I'm saying? More than anything. That should be our coming together goal. I don't care what religion you are. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if you're light skinned, brown skinned, blue, pink, yellow, all the purples too. I see we come together and realize that we deserve this. It's ours anyway. But we have to stand together. And this is something I realize that we haven't done. That's why we're making the Think Champs, official right here. Because we come to the table thinking on real things. So we want you to think about these things too. You know what I'm saying? Because if you ain't thinking about these things, guess what? Somebody else is thinking for you. Okay? So we got to get to the level where we thinking for ourselves again. You know what I mean? Because remember, it was Bookman, the brethren show, it was Bookman from the slave trade was going on in Haiti that strengthened the black people to come together and unify and defeat the enemy. You know what I mean? And they would call him Bookman because what?
Carried a book.
He always was reading a book. Yeah. You know what I mean? He was studying a book. Bookman. Check the science. So what he said to the people that gathered them strong together, until this day it still remains the right sound. We just gotta gravitate to it. He said, if you want to win the war, you have to cast away your white God.
Ashe.
And you are free.
You are free.
You are free.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So this is the only way. You know what I mean? We gonna step forward. We gotta cast away our white God. You cannot be believing in something that is not of you. Okay? It's better for you to gravitate something of yourself. Okay? And this is just a natural thing you should be thinking for yourself. Like for instance, as a black person, you don't dress like everyone else. You don't act like everybody else, right?
No doubt.
So why should you praise someone else? I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna let my brethren all let it build on. You know what I'm saying? I like my split.
Yeah, okay.
No doubt. To what you were saying, do you think that's a part of it? As in,
or rather, an accident.
I don't think nothing's an accident.
That's what I'm saying. Is that what you tell me?
Nah, it's almost like this. Black people on the majorities look like they don't want reparations. They just don't jump on it, right? Could it be the white Jesus? Because what I'm trying to say is blacks who want reparations live through the suffering of history. What if you have white Jesus, love white people, you cleared yourself from the suffering? White people is good to you. There is no suffering in your mind. You don't rep your ancestors. You don't rep your history. Majority of us is that. Is that why they don't want reparations? Is it psychological? Did the white man clear them? What I'm trying to say is if a black person don't think black, they don't want reparations.
Well, I can tell you what Brother Baba Dick Gregory, I'm reading his book now, Read Between the Lines, and I just got through reading that. He said the thing is this: there's some black folk who believe they're part of this system. And he made a comparison in the book. He said Jews never thought they was part of the system. It was overstood. They was not down with this. But black people, white people are Hitler to us. We still think that we're part of this system. So there's a lot of blacks. But again, I go back to what I was telling you earlier when I was telling you young blood. My pops told me when I was a young man, it took me 20 years to understand what he was saying. He said, because I was raised in the Nation of Islam, and he said to me, he said, the white man is on his post 25 hours a day. I said, that can't be right. It's only 24 hours a day. He said, I didn't stutter, and I didn't make a mistake. You figure it out. He left it at that. Right. 20 years later, I realized, here's the analogy that I use. If you take a basketball, and you put it into a deep thing of water, like, 2 or 3 feet water, and you pull the basketball down, and if you let that basketball go 1 second, what's going to happen? Right?
Go right to the top.
So the white man's the same way with us. He knows who we are, and we're that basketball. If he lets us go, if he slips, we're going to pop up just like that basketball. So he has shifts from 3 to 11, 11 to 7, and 7 to 3. He don't sleep. He always peeping where you at, what you doing. If you're an artist and you starting to make noise, like pop, okay, I got to kill this young man because he can't be stopped. You look at Bob Marley. Oh, he talking about get up, stand up, fight for your right. Oh, we got to do something about this. Same with Peter Tosh, same with Sam Cooke. See what I'm saying? So he's always watching because the main thing is this: he knows who we are. We don't know who we are.
Back to the question. Is that why black people don't want reparations? Because he's never asleep. So the machine is always on.
Because the ones that who believe they're part of the system. That's what I'm saying. Those that sector you talking about, those are the African people who have been what they call Stockholm syndrome.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They fell in love with their enemy.
Go look that up, people.
Stockholm syndrome. Check that out. Yeah, people get
homework here. Every time you hear something you don't understand, look it up.
That's true.
Yeah, it's that. You know what I'm saying?
So what would define reparations? I mean, like maybe people don't really know what exactly they getting before they refuse.
We don't know.
That's a good question. But in Cobra, we've been around for 31 years. We get ready to celebrate our 31st annual convention in Selma, Alabama. And first of all, reparations is not just money. First of all, in reality, I don't even know we want their money because their money gonna be no good in years to come. So what the hell is their money? We want land. We want land. Land is the base of power. I was saying before, on that land, we can build our schools, we can grow our own food.
Wait. This is when we thinking.
Huh?
This is when we thinking for ourselves.
Yes.
Because as you speaking,
The majority.
this is the thoughts now. Because remember, say they're not thinking, they're being programmed. They're looking to go buy land from someone else right now. They're not thinking of actually owning their own land that's really owned to them for their generations. You see what I'm saying? So what you're speaking on is really real because at the end of the day is without the land, we have nothing. Because how can we feed ourselves?
Can't do double.
You know what I'm saying? How can we shelter ourselves?
Land produces everything we need.
My brother. So speak on it. I just want to let this be touched because that's really the portions of reparations. As the Brethren was saying, we want to state the points, but my point is that's the real reality of it.
Right.
We don't actually want just the money. We want the land too.
We want the land.
Yeah, man, because the land will give us everything we need. Just imagine now. I pray to y'all, just cut you for 1 second, right? But just imagine now, with the land and we thinking for ourselves, right? This is just us thinking. Okay, we have land. Okay, we can grow food, right? So we can feed ourselves, all right? All right, we have land so we can build on the land and we can actually build homes to shelter ourselves. Now on top of that, we have land which has solar energy, natural power. We can also provide energy for ourselves. On our land, we ain't even got to worry about what they're doing on their side of town, okay? But on our land, we can do this. And on top of that, we can also sew. We can make clothes so we can clothe ourselves. We got to stop buying these people clothes. We spending way too much money every year. Like for right now, just imagine this, right? Because I want to keep y'all in an imaginary state because they got you imagine a bunch of stupidness. So I want you to imagine something real. Yeah. What kind of stupidness they got y'all imagining? You know what I mean? So
sounds bad.
a bunch of stupidness you're imagining right now listening to these people. Imagining you all kind of things. But imagine this, right? Imagine that we have our own land, and on that land, we're working together. We're supporting one another. Okay? Let's stay there. We're not spending our money outside the community of our own land. We're working with one another. We're supporting one another. You know what I'm saying?
How many times money going around?
How many times? Forever. Forever.
Right. Race first.
You understand? So the reality is we have to come together to stand for something, to get something. You know, right now it's because you're being so distracted by everything these people are pushing out to you. You have no time to focus on anything that's real. And we are now in 2020, so it's really time, what? To get focused. Okay? So speak on it, King, because that's real
And
sound.
that whole idea about the white man being on his post 25 hours a day,
Yeah.
one of his tools in his job is confusion. To seep into confusion. In fact, there was a song written in 1950 or early 70s, Border of Confusion. Listen to the song, Border of Confusion. I'm telling you, that's the deal. So yeah, confused. He's the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said that the white man is a master technologist. He's on his game. He's a scientist. He's a wicked scientist. He's like a Dr. Jekyll, you know. He in that lab thinking how he's gonna kill people, you know. This is what he do. The history shows it.
Yeah.
So again, in terms of reparations, look it. Like I told the brethren earlier, I don't know how it's gonna materialize, but it's gonna get got. I can give you history is replete with examples of things that people thought that would never happen and it happened. Okay, check this out. I'm gonna put you in this zone real quick. It's 1650. You in America, right? Now you come from the future, you come from 2020, you go to 1650, and you see a black man telling a white man, or you tell that white man, yo, in 2020 or the last decade, right? You say, oh, African people doing this. We got black men. We got black men in the White House. We have black governors and mayors and blah blah blah. And we got black people who are richer than white folk. And we got black people who slap the shit out of a cracker in the street and nothing will happen. He'll be like, that ain't never gonna happen. But look at now. So that reality that we live today, if you were to tell somebody in that time frame, at that time, with that mindset that was in the world at that time, they couldn't see that. They couldn't even, their minds couldn't even envision. So just because you can't envision it, that don't mean it can't come, you know? Yeah. So there were Africans at that time they knew it was gonna happen. But some of them thought like, that's good, I ain't going nowhere. In fact, the same thing could be said today. You tell somebody, yo, forget your job, man, let's go, we're gonna do something. Wow, I ain't leaving my job. See what I'm saying? Because we still got that thing. But hey, again, we have to understand, we have to like put it into perspective and understand and overstand that 500 years of constant being told who you are, what you are, and all that, it takes a toll. I mean, if you do that to a child, just one person, one generation, you gonna mess that child up. So just imagine we get forced. So we have to give our people, put it this way, it's a miracle that we still here today. So in terms of reparations, to bring it back to reparations, again, okay, John Conyers signed HR 40 like 20 years ago. And you never heard any, every time he submitted in Congress, it always got shot down, right? But now, it's on the lips of politicians. They're not talking about reparations because all of a sudden they got, oh, I think we should think about reparations in place of black. Nah, that's been through struggle, through pressure. And now we updated HR 40. So now, even though those who understand how the system really works, we're using this thing as a tactic. We try to checkmate these because, like I said, one way or another, it's gonna get got. Justice can never be quashed forever. History shows this. You might quash people for 200 years, 300 years, but it's gonna come a time that's gonna change.
Oh yeah,
right
now.
Question: do you think we should study the other races who have been successful in receiving reparations?
Absolutely.
Such as the Jews and the Chinese and
absolutely.
the camps.
We have to understand the whole politics of it. You know, the political, like I said, When the American government gave the Japanese people reparations after they had them in internment camps for a couple of years, you know, first of all, it was through struggle, and always remember when the white man does something, it's a tactic, it's a move. He's moving that chess piece. He ain't doing nothing out of the goodness of his heart. No, he trying to get you to checkmate you. You know what I'm saying? So we study those people that got reparations. Why some Native people, some Native nations got reparations. The Eskimos got reparations. The Jews got reparations, right?
There's a few African.
Yeah, a few African. And actually, on a more smaller level, on the microcosm, we had Africans who got reparations for Rosewood and for Tulsa, Oklahoma, the descendants of the survivors. So individual cases, we have had cases. In fact, reparations, just for the record, is under international law. Okay, this is international law we're talking about. But it's not just something we just make up because this is under international law. In fact, just recently, Haiti had to pay France reparations, which, if you ask me, I don't understand how that happened. That's a serious mind twist, you know what I'm saying? Because it should have been the other way around. But that goes to show you we're dealing with a shrewd and devious enemy.
That's true, that's true.
Mr. Anderson, you want to say something?
Yeah,
All right, let me say what
I'm not really opposed to reparations. It's just the mindset seems to be 40 acres and a mule. You know, it's got commercialism to it. You know, people know
it's
that.
never really spoke on.
Yeah.
So people don't really even know what it's about. Like you said, it's like more or less they thinking 40 acres and a mule.
Right.
That's the furthest they think reparations really go. So they figure, no, I'm gonna get some money and I'm gonna get my little acres of land.
They get packaged up.
because that's the narrative they've been pushing. Remember, COBRA's been around for 30 years, man. So even though it hasn't been in the mainstream, we've been doing the work. The only reason, like I said, they talking about reparations and then HR 40 got pushed this far, it wasn't by accident, it's because through struggle. In COBRA, which stands for the National Coalition of Blacks for Reparations in America, has been around for 30 years, and they've been doing this work for 30 years. So everything that's happening now is due to that struggle. You know what I'm saying? So again, like I said, reparations takes on many forms, and healing is part of the reparations. You know what I'm saying? We need the white folks to just leave us alone. Let us heal.
Right.
Just leave us alone. It's like, look, when you was growing up, right? And you in the street with your friends, and your mama found out you had did something, right? And she wants you in the house because she's gonna scold you, right? She go, rebel, get in the house. Do all your friends come in the house?
Do all of them come in the
Yes.
house?
No, they stay outside, right? So we tell white folks like that. You say you're a good white folks. Listen, we got a family business to take care of. You wait for us outside. We'll chat with you later, bro. Leave us alone, man. Just give us some time. We don't want, you know what I'm saying? Just leave us alone.
Post-traumatic stress.
Yeah, man. In fact,
post-traumatic stress, they getting checks for that, right? You know what I mean? Black people naturally have post-traumatic stress every day, just dealing with the system we live in.
Oh yeah.
I mean, this post-traumatic stress, of course, we see you think you gotta go to war to get post-traumatic stress? You think, I'm seeing people get killed, shot all my life growing up in this place here. You know what I'm saying? Robberies and all kind of things I'm seeing. I'm post-traumatic stress because of the things that's going on in this world. I gotta keep the meds in a high region because the meds is the mind states, you know. You gotta keep your meds because your medication should always be natural. You know, the Benjamin said healing. We gotta heal ourselves. It's true.
No gas.
But the key to it is we have to have time for ourselves to do this. We have to come together and have these things done for ourselves because even my family, right? Here's a true story. You know, people say, you know, every Rasta come from Jamaica and these things here, you know what I'm saying? I'm a Rasta, man. I don't come from an island, you know. I was born in this country called America, right? But here's the fullness, right? My family I'm generations away from slavery, you know what I'm saying? Not like, you know, no plaything. My family worked on the fields, you know what I'm saying? Picked cotton and all them things there, you know what I'm saying? From the Alabama region, you know? And they did their thing. They were always hard workers, you know what I'm saying? No education, because you know how the white men do. We keep the whip on you, so you ain't gonna get too far educated.
No doubt.
But you gonna have the labor and skills, you know what I'm saying? So my family had labor and skills. I was born in New York City, you know what I'm saying? Because my family left that part of town of slavery and came to the big city, the Big Apple, right? So, a generation away, I promise you. You know what I'm saying? My mom used to tell me stories about picking cotton and all them things there, and Mr. Charlie and all that stuff there. You know what I'm saying? So it was never a game to me. I knew what was real. You know what I'm saying? Most of y'all are losing now. Y'all don't even have a clue to what you really come from. You know what I'm saying? You get a little light skin, you think, say you're white. It make no sense, and you don't even realize everything come from us. You know, everything come from the motherland, Ethiopia. You see a light-skinned Ethiopian, you see a black Ethiopian.
Black.
You see all colors of Ethiopia. So what you gonna tell me the white man exists? And Ethiopia is the oldest people, period, on the planet. You know what I mean? So when we thinking for ourselves, we'll see these things clearly. It won't be an illusion to you, you know what I'm saying, as to why we doing what we doing, because as Rasta, when you see our colors, it's red, yellow, and green. Those colors represents Ethiopia, all right? Which is a free people in a free land, which always been free from the beginning of time to this very set time now. There are landmarks in Ethiopia that should be the 8 wonders of the world, which they are, but they'll never tell you about it, because they don't want you to know that's your history and it still goes on to this very day. Check it for yourself. There's churches in Lalibela, right? Rock churches that's been built there, you know what I'm saying, from ancient days that's still there and active to this day. Yeah. Till this day you got priests going in and out those churches till this day, and it's us living and carrying this trot along, you know what I'm saying? So it's nothing new on the earth. We just have to recognize and identify, because my question to you is that, why do black people don't want to return to Africa? Just literally in America, why don't we want to return to Africa? My mind state is thinking that we're being brainwashed to think differently of loving where we come from. I'm saying we've been taught so long in history to hate where we come from, like it's such a barbaric place, and we don't realize that all the greatness and everything comes out of the motherland. You know what I mean? So once we start thinking for ourselves and realize these things, people, you know what I'm saying, we can wake up to these conversations to what we need to be having, what reparations is really about. Why do we need our land? Why should we have our own money? Because we need our own resources. You know what I'm saying? It's simple. To me, we need everything our own. I want it to be everything black. You know what I mean? It's time we get black to it. You know what I mean? Everything you buy black, everything you make black, everything you support is black. And then it's black or black. You know what I mean? Because that's the original state. That's the only way we really going to succeed. You got to put everything else aside and put your race first. That's when we're moving forward. We got to move forward as a race of people again. You know what I mean? And so I'm thankful one's coming and we building on this, because these topics are very, very needed right now. We need to be working on us thinking about why should we have our own everything. You know what I mean? Because we deserve it. You know what I mean? From generations on, our people suffered, and we still suffering. They say they got a show on TV right now, right? They called The Survivor.
Oh yeah.
You ever see the show?
Yeah,
I ain't watched TV in 25 years, man.
I mean, I don't watch it, you know. I ain't gonna sit there and watch the whole episode.
But I've heard of it.
But I like to listen to what the plot is about.
Yeah. No, I've heard of it.
Right?
Yeah.
The plot is really, you know, some people on an island,
They eat different things,
naked, and eating, just trying to survive on an island.
Yeah.
You think they survivors? You know what survivors is? The homeless in America right now.
Right across the street right there.
Right there outside the door. Go outside the door, see real survivors, you know. People out there from all sorts of weather, whether it's rain, sleet, or snow, hail. You know, it was a storm yesterday.
Yeah, I heard.
It was a wicked storm yesterday. Whoever survived that storm outside, them are the survivors, you know.
Yeah, 2 people it was reported 2 people was killed.
Just trying to survive. So we have to know that we deserve what we getting, you know. Don't figure they giving us something.
They're not giving us anything.
Don't figure they giving us nothing, you know. That's the mind state of people think, oh, they gonna give us it. No, we deserve it, okay? From what our people went through. What black to the story is that my family is from the Alabama's regions, right? And there was a thing going on called the Black Farmers Market. You know what I'm saying? And the Black Farmers Market was when there was a lawyer, black men came together and formed an organization to get reparations or money for the black farmers. My family was a part of that because we grew up in a time when we had the land, had the money, but we couldn't buy tractors and none of these things here because we were denied
crop sharing, right,
from the white crackers. You know what I'm saying? So we couldn't really produce as much. because they wouldn't let us purchase what we needed, right?
Yes, sir.
To grow the food on the land. So the reparations for that was given on to the black farmers. Serious true story. There was individuals in my family, which was my uncles and aunts and mothers, you know what I'm saying, who got $50,000 a piece. $50,000 a piece, just straight cash money. It was a check. You got a check, 50,000, came in the mail, right? Done. It happened because it was organized. This is my point I want to get to. It was just because they organized to get that done too. See, we got to realize in order for us to get anything, we first have to organize. We don't get nothing until we sit to the table as Richards, Blues and Greens, Jacksons, Blues and Taylors, because we all got these people names, you know. It was given on to us. Don't feel no way, you know, because these names was given on to us. We ain't asked for it. They gave it to us. So we need to put all them names down on the paper and tell these people we want what we want, and they will give it to us. But we ain't never stepped up and put the names together. I was in jail one time and I got 35 inmates to come together, you know, right? And sign a petition. It's a true story, you know what I'm saying? They lock a brother up, you check, you see me on cops and all that. It's a true story, believe that. But I'm still here doing what I do, healing the people. Remember that. So the point is, they have me in the system and there's 35 people in the whole pod. Right? They got us going through all kind of things, got us wearing the same towels and not giving us, you know what I'm saying, the right thing, no change of underwear. Like, hold on, this ain't gonna work. Y'all come together and we gonna sign this piece of paper. You know what I'm saying? I went to their little rule book, because they got books, you know, everything written down. This is what your rules are. Your rules is saying the inmate's supposed to have clean towels, clean back. Okay, but we ain't getting that. So that rule is not being followed. Right. Okay? Right. Broke it all down to them. And we sat there, all of us, and we signed that petition. One dude on there had a president name. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, we there, signed the paperwork. You know what I mean? How a black man had a president name? You know what I'm saying? It's that type of foolishness. You see how they do to us? Differently though. We all signed the paper, sent it in to the people. Next day they come to that pod, they said, 400, because that was our pod number. They said, 400, pack it up. Packed all of us up and shipped us all out of there and gave us separate rooms and where we need to be. Took me out the whole jail. They shipped me to the next county. Said, you was trouble. Yeah. You, Mr. Jackson, oh, we got you, you know. Yeah. You were the virus, the matrix. You, we got to get him up out of here because he going to keep with that pen and paper. Yeah. He don't even talk that much. He come out of the cell and he tell you, say, he's not going to eat that. And he gone back in the cell and he writes something on you. Next thing you know, they come with big bags and stuff. Mr. Jackson, you sign this for me? Straight vegetables. Extra this and extra that. All vegetables. It was like, what did you get? How did you do that? Yeah, because I put that pen and paper on them. I don't play with that. Because I know their system, it's all about pen and paper. See, that's the thing we don't do. We don't stick to sticklers. Everything they do, they stick it to us, but it's on paper. We don't stick the stickler back and show them this is what we need. You know what I mean? But when we get to that point, oh, it's a wrap. Because they say, oh, they thanking for themselves. How many of them? What religion are they? What race are they? They all? Yes, they all are. You know what I'm saying? So then we get to the point of organizing ourselves in one. But that's where we get to thinking for ourselves. So that's why I'm thankful to be here on the Think Champs, because we thanking people, we getting you to think too. At the same time.
For real. Hey, you want to hear a funny story? Yeah. Same thing happened to me. I got locked up for 15 days for driving without a license. And I started holding open mics up in that cell. Yo, for real, they was like, yo, they took me out, put me in a separate room, they brought me back though. But I was like, man, and then I was talking to this one dude, and we was on the table like this, and he started shaking, and he just keeled over, and his head hit the concrete first. So I was like, yo, CO, screaming. CO came, he said, ain't nothing wrong with him. I said, all right, I tell you what, if he die, I'm gonna be the first witness out here, because I done seen it all. You know? And then I told, like, there was these two brothers that was fighting. I was like, let me ask y'all something. I know things is tense, but is there anybody that when y'all get out of here, any of y'all go on to South Beach, got a mansion and a Rolls Royce or a Mercedes? Anybody in here? Anybody got money in the book? So what you think? What you think you in here for? So now you fighting him when you should be fighting the motherfuckers that put you in here.
True.
Feel me? So they only had me there for 15 days, but that was the only time I ever actually stayed in jail for that long. I got arrested a couple of times, but just like out in 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, you know? Man. I got arrested several times. My rap sheet's so long. My rap sheet's so long. The judge said, he said, do you mind if I read your rap sheet? I said, yeah, sure, go ahead. The man took my rap sheet and the thing hit the floor and kept rolling. It kept rolling. And he's just sitting there pulling the thing up like this, you know. The man read my charges, you know, it was a little weed, you know, about 2-3 grams, you know, because, you know, these people making it and making money off it, but we suffer for it, you know. Remember I tell you this, but my point is, he looked at the rap sheet and just automatically gave me a sentence, you know. He didn't even think because he said, wait. But the thing is, what are the charges? The charges are all natural charges. I ain't killed nobody.
Right.
I'm not a rapist. I'm not a, you know what I'm saying? I'm not a thief. I don't steal from people. What you got the charges? You got the charges for some natural herbs.
Consuming what Mother Earth gave us, right?
From natural herbs.
So check this out. Not to cut you.
No, go ahead.
Like when you told that story, you know the picture I seen in my mind? Everybody seen that picture of the African with all the whips on his back? That's true. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah.
Because you one of the rebellious slaves.
Yes, it did.
That's why you got that rap sheet. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
other people look at it differently. Me, you're a rebellious slave. You're like, You know what I'm saying?
Here's a true story though. Most of our strongest leaders and people have been to jail and prison.
Oh yeah. Malcolm.
You can do your science and history for yourself. But every last one of them who are strong leaders been to jail or prison.
Yeah.
Didn't break them, it actually made them. So we don't take it negative because at the end of the day is we all went through the same sacrifice. Even the Christ himself had to go to jail. They asked the people that when they locked the Christ up, they said, do you want us to let the Christ free or you want us to let Barnabas free? And if you do the study in history on Barnabas was not a nice guy. Barnabas was a rapist, a thief, and a murderer. But instead, they said, no, we'd rather crucify the Christ and free Barnabas. You see? So we got to realize all our people, even Mandela. How many years Mandela spent in prison? What, he was a bad man?
27.
You understand? 27 years before they really released the man free for just wanting to liberate his own people. You see? So we can't look at it in a negative way when people go into the prisons because it makes them stronger. You know what I mean? Mentally, physically too. You see the physicalness, but I'm talking about mentally because actually when you really check the history of it, we read more.
Yeah.
Most the readers right now on this planet, which is the United States we at right now, right? In the United States, the biggest readers of us right now is in prison right now.
I show you.
Right now,
I never thought about that.
Black men and women are reading books and doing push-ups and exercising their physical and their mental right now. And praying much more in prisons and in these jail systems right now. And it's always been that way because we got time to be more focused without the distractions. You see, with the money, the cars, and all this stuff here, the fame you chasing, you don't get time to think and strengthen the brain. You see what I'm saying? In the body. So when people actually get locked up, the country we keep it real, it's like they get locked up and they get physically stronger, mentally stronger, and spiritually stronger because they got a chance to go within themselves. You know what I'm saying? If they stay in focus. Not saying everyone doing that, because some people get in there and think it's a second home. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you call institutionalized. You know what I'm saying? But when you really realize, you know what I'm saying, that hold on, I don't belong here, but I'm here. I got to make my way through this place here. And everybody who locked up know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? You stay to yourself and you go within yourself. And that's where you find your strength. Like the brother was locked up for 10 years. Don King.
Oh yeah, that's how you
all
the words, man.
Right.
All the words, man.
Don sat there, got his education, his read on, his study on, and when he came out, he was educated, ready to blow and do his thing because the mind was strong.
How many times Malcolm read the dictionary in jail? Twice, from cover to cover.
Yeah.
Cover
Just
to cover.
going in, you know what I mean? Just to show you that don't be ashamed of going to jail and prison and them things there, you know what I'm saying? It's what you become and do with it after. You know what I'm saying? That's the key.
And in fact, it's something you mentioned because I saw an interview with Fidel Castro. He said, I haven't been able to read as much since I got out of jail, out of prison. He read 16, 17 hours a day, every day.
See what I'm saying?
Every day.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's the mind. That little break that he took to absorb all that, the 5 years they did, and then Batista made a mistake and pardoned them, and he came back, and the rest is history.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, reading, man, reading. And you know, and that's what I stress to, you know, even myself, man, this is my personal story, you know, I grew up in a nation, man, but I was a knucklehead when I was young. I wasn't trying to hear none of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I joined the military when I was 23. And when I finally passed the test on the 3rd time, they told me that I was reading on a 5th grade reading level. It didn't bother me. I just want to join the military. But it should bother somebody. But then I came out. Mm-hmm. And when I came out, I was in the same situation when I went in. And I knew I was doing something wrong in life. I picked up my first book and it was on from there. Mm-hmm. And I ate books like, man, I had a book in my face on a regular. You know, I read it, and I myself don't read as much as I used to read, but I read a lot of books. But yeah, like I said, reading, it changes your world, and you understand this whole system and the global system and why we live in the way we live in today. You know, most people, the majority of people, this system has been normalized. It's normal to get up and go to work. You know, people say, well, that's what you do. You know, you get older, you get a job. But when you look at history, we talked about before in the scriptures, just look at history. Yeah. This is not normal. We did not work 8 hours a day. We didn't have to work for pay no rent, for put a roof over our head and pay for water. Our people did not do that. We did not do that. We did not have to pay rent. We did not pay for food. We did not pay for water. You know what I'm saying? We didn't pay for no health care. Actually, you know, the shaman was pretty much jobless because our people didn't really get sick that much. But when we did, we had a shaman there to take care of the people. You know, and he didn't say to the people, okay, well, I want 3 camels, 2 horses, and a mule. You ain't got that? Well, I'm sorry. See, they didn't think like that. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at history, you look at the world before the Europeans ganged up on the world, when you look at Taino culture, Mayan, Aztec, Inca, African, Taino, you know, Polynesian, you see all these native people here on this continent. If you study all of them, you're going to see that even though we had different languages, different spiritual systems, well, similar but different practices, you know, different, all that, but we have one thing in common no matter where you're from, if you're melanated. Our metaphysics, our worldview. None of us built prisons. We didn't have homelessness. We didn't have old people's homes because we didn't throw mom and pop away. We didn't have orphanages because we didn't throw our babies away. We didn't have no prostitution. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have no gang warfare. We had none of that.
No drug addiction.
None of that. No drug addiction. None of that. Did we have problems? Absolutely. Human beings will always have problems because that's like Frederick Douglass said, without struggle there is no progress. And struggle doesn't necessarily mean nothing bad. Struggle is just moving forward, pushing things, changing things. True. You know what I'm saying? So struggle is not a bad thing. So that's the way we live until this individual group of people who make up less than 1/10 of the global population said, that's not the way the world works. They ganged up on the world, so now today we pay for water. In fact, check this out, this is how deep it is. You gotta pay to be born and you gotta pay to die.
True.
Say, tell me I'm lying.
Yeah, it's true.
Tell me I'm lying. Tell me how you go to a funeral home, how much you gonna pay when you go to a funeral home. How much you gonna pay? How much you gonna pay that doctor when you coming out your mama womb?
Yeah, it's true, it's true.
Right? So you gotta pay
even the way they bury
that's what I'm saying.
The dead is
everything.
unnatural.
Yeah.
Because think about it, right? Think about this, right? And if we thinking for ourselves, right? Like your parent, right? Say your mother, your father, you know what I'm saying, passed. It's your mother. Let's say mother, because you know how we did to our mother, right? Say your mother passed and you say, did Mark tell you, say, you want us to, you know, embalm the body and dress the body and all that stuff there. It's some perverted person back there dressing and playing with your parents, you know what I'm saying, body, when it's naturally, the original way is supposed to be your family, your aunts and uncles supposed to take the body, you know what I'm saying, clean it off and make sure it's dressed properly with the right clothes on, clean all through the toenails and all that, to make sure she clean naturally without the embalming fluid, you know. Yeah. Without that, because see what the embalming fluid do, it make the body explode and tough like like cardboard. You know what I'm saying? It just puffed the body out like a dried up carb. So when you're touching the person, you don't even feel the life in it. It's just cardboard you're feeling in it. But the body is like a battery. You know what I'm saying? If the battery died, it's still a battery, right?
Yeah.
It ain't turning nothing else. The battery just ain't got no energy in it. You know what I'm saying? But it's still there. It's still a battery. So when they doing their thing, it's so unnatural, man. Y'all thing is supposed to be more sanctified where it's amongst the family. You know what I mean? Where the family's supposed to take the body and do all the things to address the body so the body's ready without all these other people being touching the body and all these things. That's when we thinking for ourselves. Even with the birth. The birth now of our women with these children, they got to get these C-sections and all these things here. That's a $10,000 charge, you know, just on that one split, you know. And it's going to be that way every time.
And you be lucky if they don't mess you up for life, right? Cut you the wrong way. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, they get neat with it now. They tell you they got little snips they do with it
but
now.
you know what? In fact, this is Dick Gregory's book that I'm reading right now. He said, and I didn't know this, but you know Dick Gregory read like 30 papers a day, right? 30 newspapers, right? He was, this man was absorbing all this. He said, there's more malpractice suits. Okay, there are more lawyers being disbarred at malpractice suits than like police brutality, but like, well, you don't say, well, where are the good lawyers? You know what I'm saying? It was sort of like that, basically saying that if they have that many malpractice suits, how many people are getting chopped up in hospitals, going in for something and coming out without a limb or something? You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. So it's ill. That's what I'm saying.
251 deaths that go on in a hospital every year.
Okay. Well, there you go.
There's actual facts of this. 251. So after 4 years, there's 1 million people dead, you know.
Yeah.
Yet the light's still on, and they still incoming tech traffic. You know what I'm saying? But yet they're killing 251 people.
And the doctor's still working.
Still working.
Well, they still getting organs.
Well, doctors, they have to have some kind of insurance. Yeah. And stuff like that. They got this thing where they have to have, you have to have, actually, if you work at a hospital, the hospital carries the insurance for the certain doctor. But if you have a private practice, you got to pay insurance for this. Like that. Yeah. You know? But like I said, you know what? And the burying of our own, you know, that's probably, I don't know, you know, that's not every, I know in Palestine they do it just like you said. The family take the bodies and stuff like that. When they're not snatched by the Israelis because they steal in their organs. They're stealing their organs. All them young people they shoot out there, a lot of them don't get their bodies back. When they do get their bodies back for the Palestinians, their bodies ain't got no organs.
That's what they do.
You know what I'm saying?
These people are organ snatchers, man. That's the reality of it when you really get to it. Because, and my thing is, not to cut you, but what are they doing with these organs? Because you see a lot of transvestites popping up with other organs now. You know that, right?
You see Get Out.
You see all these organs popping around in other people that shouldn't be having these organs now.
They made a movie. It's called Repo Man. Anybody seen that movie, Repo Man? When they snatching people off the stage. Hey, your payment's due tomorrow. Now we taking that liver back. And homeboy dropped his package and ran home. Dropped his pizza. I'm telling you, and when that movie was made, you talking about early 80s, right? And it's happening now. That's why movies, that's what they do in Hollywood. They set up the mindset so when it happens for real, you're already so what's the word they use?
Subliminal.
Subliminal, but you're
indoctrinated.
Yeah, like you're already it's normal to you. They've normalized that. So when it happens for real, like your mind, your subconscious, like you said, subliminal, it relates that. And it relates back to a movie. It's just your subconscious is so powerful, you brush it off, like, oh yeah, I seen that in the movies. And you make light of the real deal. See what I'm saying? That's why they do the movies, man. CIA be all up in the movies, man. All up in the psychological warfare. That's why when you got to watch it, you got the peep game. My pops told me everything he saw growing up on the TV is a reality today. And my pops was around before TV was even invented, because he was born in the 40s. So TV didn't come out till 1950. You know what I'm saying? And not everybody had a TV when it first came out. So a lot of people, it was the radio. You know? It was either the radio or the brother on the corner of the soapbox. You know what I'm saying? Or the sister on the soapbox. That's how we got our information, and through reading.
That's true.
Through reading. If you look at old pictures of people traveling in the trains, you see mostly everybody with a newspaper.
Right. It was always a daily news.
Always a daily news. But now, it's different. But you see, that, you see the TV and the radio, that wasn't something like somebody said, you know, I want to create something fun, like no, man, these are scientists. There's a reason why they did that, because look, think about it like this. If they never invented the TV and the radio, right, or just the radio, there's no TV, and people kept reading the way they read it, what you gonna have? What kind of population you gonna have?
Mm-hmm. Thinkers.
An educated population. Then they gonna figure out that you getting screwed by the government. So they said we got to figure out a way, and check out this guy, look him up, Edward Bernays. He's the nephew of Sigmund Freud. He's what they call the father of propaganda.
True.
He showed the science how to get this done. And so basically they said, we have to find a way to take this mind and put it into a different frame. So when they came up with sports, initially, it was laughed off. It was professional sport, it was laughed off. And people were like, man, that's for children. That's for children. But they said, no, if you can get the older people to watch this and you make a big deal, then you can shift the mindset, especially of the male. In the population, the male is the one that you got to control, because the male has a certain, the energy that he carries is the one that kind of like leads, you know what I'm saying, in a sense. So they got to control that. So I said, so they put the white boys, they created all these sports, and remember, no brothers were allowed to play in sports, right? It was just white. And then time went on, and black people went through the civil rights movement. The demons said, okay, hold on. We don't want no black politicians and black construction workers, owners, and property. No. We got to do something about this, because now they're moving, right? Take the white boys out of sports, put all the brothers in sports, shift the paradigm, take the white boys out of sports, give them middle management America, give them the middle management for white America, they'll manage all your businesses, and you get the brothers, or how they say the niggas, in the sports, and boom, and kill that mind. And now, football. What's the percentage of the players on the team? What, 99.9 probably? Or like 97% black? Or baseball? Afro-indigenous, we don't call them Spanish because we ain't Spanish. We speak Spanish, but we ain't Spanish. We Afro-indigenous.
True.
They're the ones that are playing the baseball. You know what I'm saying? You got the brothers playing the basketball. And now, think about the World Series, the stadium. Just imagine all those people marched up to the White House and said, we want our damn raise, we want $20 an hour, we want health care, we want better school. What? Or we coming in here like Pac said, we coming in blasting. Right? So that's why we got sports. Because everybody put that energy, and they put a lot of energy. Then they got the people on TV with their suits, make them look important. They got their suits, right? The tie, the suits are tight suits, make them look important. Like, yeah, and he ran 50 yards. Like, who gives a damn? And a teacher that's teaching the future is getting shitted on.
But you look at the people who own the teams. When they up in the skybox, you know. And then after the team win like the championship or whatever, they run around with the little cup, you know what I'm saying, or whatever it is. And then what they do with it? They gotta hand it straight forward to the owner. So they get to run around with it, but they gotta hand it to the owner, you know what I'm saying? So the same time as people don't realize the owner is the slave master still is the same plantation owner is the same one, you know. We just went in for slave master.
They just changed the words around.
But when you look at it,
Question.
Yes indeed. But when you look at it, right? When you look at it, all the champions of all sports right now, even in the pageants, is all of us, of all the melanated skin, you know? But they all representing other countries.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying? That's the mind state they got us in, but they ain't all representing one homeland, but they all representing somewhere else where they are. You see them racing, whatever they're doing, they went in for every country except for the Africans. I see them in Africa representing for Africa, but differently outside of that. You see every other country we representing them winning for other countries, but it's us doing it.
All right, check this out.
Yeah.
Go ahead, ask that question. I'm gonna keep this question.
Y'all seem real valuable to America. It seems like America don't move without killing y'all some kind of way. Like they feed off us.
Okay.
Energy vampires, taking
culture vultures,
all that. Is there a war component in our repatriation? Do you think the white man is going to let us leave?
Well, here's the thing. Again,
I don't mean it like
I
that.
know what you mean,
Just-
but it's always going to be some bloodshed and war. You know what I'm saying? And for us to actually leave this place, it's going to be some kind of war, some kind of reparations within that, some kind of reaction. You know, war within ourselves for one, because there's going to be some that say, nah, I ain't want to go, I want to stay. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to fight for this country. You know, because it's the mind state we in, you know. But this is the point we have to get to, is the point of basically reasoning on it. You know what I'm saying? So we can get to the levels of knowing who's who and what's for what. Because at the end of the day, is you got to realize a lot of our people are comfortable in this country. And the way I look at it, I call it comfortable in captivity. You know, this is why we got so comfortable in captivity that we don't feel that we need to be free in our own anything. We feel that we should be provided for. Because if you give someone something, right, but they're getting something for nothing, you know how hard it is going to get them to do something for something? I'm giving you food to eat. I'm giving you a food stamp card. You ain't got to pay for it. It's going to be yours when you hit your card every month. I'm giving you something for nothing, right? But now I tell you, come on, let's go and make something. You can make some money, but you got to put some work in. You can make some money. Because see, our original state was we worked for something. You know what I'm saying? Our labor was our wealth, you know what I mean?
Right.
Whether it was a carpenter, you know, a lot of men was mechanics. You know what I'm saying? That was a check.
Right.
You get a skill, you didn't have to go to school or anything.
Right,
You just learn from a mechanic how to work on cars, become a mechanic, and you automatically mechanic, right? So it was a natural trade that we already had, you know? But these modern day cars, you can't really mechanic on because you can't even get up under the hood now.
Computer.
You know what I'm saying? Because everything computerized.
Yeah.
That's the next point. But the point is, we had skills. We had different trades that we used to earn money. You know what I mean? If you were a painter, you got a check. You know what I mean? If you knew how to paint, there was a check waiting on you. If you were a photographer, you got a check. You know what I mean? We had skills that we utilized to make something up. But if you tell someone right now, which is the state of the comfortable in captivity black people in America, you know what I'm saying? The state they're in, they getting something for nothing.
Right.
But they don't realize what they're getting is really nothing compared to what they really supposed to deserve more than like everyone else. Why do you think the white man always give you a tip? Bless and love. Why do you think he always give you a tip? Because you already know you deserve more anyway. You already know you deserve more than what you get. That's why he'll tip you. But the reality is we don't realize that we deserve more. You know what I mean? We deserve our own everything. Bless and love, Bruce. We deserve our own everything. You know what I mean? And that's the point we have to get to again, is coming up to ourselves and saying, okay, look, we got to sit here and agree to what we really need for ourselves, you know what I mean, without the sidetrack, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you got so many people thinking for us, we ain't even saying what we can do for ourselves.
No, I just want to, because we want to get to Shabazz book in a minute. You know, the Descent Behind Enemy Lines. I want him to talk a little bit about it, you know.
You want it?
Let the people know about it.
Yeah, about 15 minutes.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. We're going to bring out introduction, yeah.
Oh. Anyway, greetings, peace and love, and revolution, peoples. Just got published, Descent Behind Enemy Lines. It's a combination about.
Let's give a black hand for that.
Yes, we did.
And for those who are familiar with the last poets, he wrote the last blurb on my book,
Co-sign.
Abiodun, one of the last poets. I had the pleasure of having him as my house guest for a week. I had a whole week sketch. As soon as he got off the plane, I took him straight to a poetry spot. I let him rest the whole time. He said, yo, I can't do it. I said, okay, I got you, man. We good. But yeah, basically, it's called Poetic Memoirs of a Street Scholar. I consider myself a street scholar, even though I did receive a 2-year degree from NYU, but I'm mostly self-taught because I dropped out after 2 years, after my second year, because I realized they was teaching me. I was major in history and modern education, and I would have arguments with my professor every day. He just got tired of my second year because I realized they was teaching me that I was a major in history and modern education, and I would have arguments with my professor every day. He just got tired of me, man. It's like, yo, I used to come with my books, Dr. Clark, Yusuf Malik Shabazz, Baby Sports. I was like, hold up, I got something for you. Professor, nah, I can't be true, but check this out. And they ain't like me, man. So I realized that that I didn't want to be in them school. I didn't want to be in them classes anymore because it was all BS. And then I came out, and then I wanted to die. In fact, my whole life I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life until that point when I was actually going to school, and I was saying, I had interest in being a teacher. But when I started reading all the books on my own, all the master teachers, I realized I wouldn't last an hour in the classroom. I'd be like, let's begin. This is history, American history. All right, we live in a criminal system. Young boys and girls. Washington was a criminal. Abraham was a criminal. In fact, I'll just sum it up from Washington to Trump. All of them were criminals. All of them. There's no exception. And for those black folk like Obama, I'm sorry, but he's a criminal too.
Right.
So I realized that I had to find another way to teach, and I did what Huey P. Newton said. He said in one of his books, Revolutionary Suicide. He said I committed class suicide. Basically, what that means, what Huey P. Newton taught in his book, is that when you have an individual who's making a lot of money, say about $80,000 a year, which is relatively good money, and you find that you live in this whole matrix, and and your people are getting dogged, and you leave that to making $5,000 a year. Well, at NYU as a security guard, we were the highest paid security guards, and I was making literally like about $75,000 a year. And nobody quits. I got people that are still there today. My boy Rosario from the Marine Corps, he's been there for 26 years. He got a house up in Bear Mountain. Got a nice house because you could live, But I said to myself, I ain't trying to be a security officer for the rest of my life. I done read all these books. I done been political activist. I've been organizing marches and rallies and stuff like that. So I didn't know what I wanted to do. And then my bubble got popped because I knew I couldn't teach. So I just quit. I just say, yo, I'm out. And everybody, all my people, they're like, you're crazy. Where you going? Miami. You got a job over there waiting for you? No. You got a place to live? No. Man, you crazy. And you know what? That was the best thing I ever did, because I came here, still trying to feel my way around. I went to this poetry spot one time. I was coming I used to work for security. I passed this African restaurant where they had 125th Street, North Miami, where I live at now. And it had a sign outside that said, Flow Fridays, open mic. So I said, all right, I'm gonna check that out. I went that Friday, and I wrote some little poems. The first couple of little poems in my book, I wrote those back when I was in the, at the security desk, And I heard a couple of poets, and the host said, you want to get on stage? I was like, I ain't gonna embarrass myself like that. I'm seeing what they doing. I said, I don't write like that. So finally, I said, you know what? Forget it. I'm gonna do it anyway, right? I just want to do it. And I did it. Boom, sat down, got in the bathroom. But it wasn't until this one girl, Diane Perez, this Cuban. Man, she got up there, she did this revolutionary poem talking about UP, Black Panther Party, the Young Ones, all this history, like everything that I've been reading. And the way she put, when a poet knows how to put that stuff together, like really put it together, I couldn't breathe. I was like, oh shit, I never heard no shit like that. And nobody the whole night said nothing. And I was like, that's it. That's it. That's what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life. I went home with my first poem, and 20 years later, I'm still doing the same thing.
So you gonna bless us tonight with something?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, for sure.
Yes, yeah, man. Looking forward.
All right.
So let's go.
All right. Let's see. Let me look through my through my table of contents. As a matter of fact, you know what? I'm gonna do. Hold up. Hold this for a second. I'm gonna put it down because I'm distraction. I just want this is my first poem that I wrote. It's really, really short. And actually, hold up. And actually, yeah, this is just there's a real short poem that I'm gonna do how right now. Here's a poem that I did that night. It's called Time. Standing on the corner, passing a blunt, talking about this, talking about that, not knowing the difference between fiction and fact, singing and bopping, making up a rhyme, not realizing the passing of precious time. Now you're 40, thinking, what have I done? Scratching and crawling, just like a bum. Constant worries of where you're going to eat, not to mention where you're going to sleep. You think of the night, saying that rhyme, but all is lost because of the time. We take for granted being in our prime, and not a care in the world, especially of time. Our schools are our playgrounds for our children today. The other man knows that that's where they'll stay. Their minds will stay, but their bodies will climb, and that's all due to a bad judgment of time. That's the little short pieces, but now I get to my spoken word.
Yes, indeed.
So let me look at my table. You know what? You can curse, right?
No cursing.
No cursing? Okay. I keep it clean
Yeah,
then.
keep it clean. Yeah.
Alright, I keep it clean. Drip. 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 As my pen drips and the scribbled words begin to caress these lines, it is for your mental perusal that I have meticulously designed this rhyme, so pay attention to the storyline. Sit back and feel the metaphors working with the confines of your mind, hoping to stir some cranial activity, activating a revolutionary consciousness and numbing your passivity, open you up to new ideas and awaken your creativity, because the way we live in the day, it's not only a shame, it's a damn pity, really, mentally starving. They stole your will to live, and it all began when you was a kid in the garden. All along, the beast continues carving and robbing their leading souls, like those who traded in their white sheets for truths and ties at Yale and Harvard, influencing social policy and filling your foods with byproducts. Man, don't get me started. I don't know about you, but this devilish system has me hot and bothered, depleting natural resources, to growing humans in labs. So now they're subsidizing human-producing farmers. Welcome. You're just in time for the slaughter. If you want to avoid a complete cultural catastrophe, raise strong, intellectual, disciplined sons and daughters. Watch out, here comes the cold water. Now free to speak, free to teach. But these creeps want to bleach my speech before I reach my peak. I'm writing as fast as I can to explain to you the truth, so that you can see. Because tomorrow, I may be fast asleep. Recycled energy so the next man can see. There will be one step closer to setting his people free. Feel me? Don't you agree? So I think it's time to stop. Formulate a plot, expose the rot of those on top. Don't worry, my words don't flip and my words don't flop. I call it like it is, I don't care if he's the president or not. Like the sisters say in the hood, he ain't nobody. And that goes for those crooked politicians and racist cops. Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when these words hit you? Cause until my last breath, I'm never through criticizing you, spitting enlightenment. Consider my poetry my last will and testament. If I die today, it don't matter. At least God don't charge rent. Let me ask you, if there was a prophet in front of you, would you know if he was heaven sent? He's been here for years, why you wonder where he went? An ilmatic poet whose pen won't be lit, been labeled a misfit because society lied to me. They told me Columbus discovered America and the Saddam had weapons of mass destruction. Conjunction function, that's lie construction. That's why there's so much corruption. Part of the interruption, we interrupt this poem to bring you a special bulletin. We are living in perilous and uncertain times. There's much to fear when there are nuclear weapons in the hands of bad men. You know, those two cats, Uncle Sam and Uncle Ben. So organize and mobilize, and then agitate. And now back to your regularly scheduled poem. These revolutionary acts are for real, not a trend. I'll never submit to the system. I'll never bend, my friend, because the philosophy of stolen property is fear. Then spend. The religious are waiting for Jesus. They say he's coming back, but nobody knows when. So they'll die unfulfilled, poor and waiting, while the rich travel the world and push Mercedes-Benz. This lifestyle must come to an end. So it's either today or tomorrow, but the revolutionary spirit must begin.
Yes, indeed. It's first. Yeah.
I say Black Power.
Yeah, man. We need more of that.
Fire,
Appreciate
dude.
that poem, brother. That was powerful.
Fire, dude.
Yeah, man. That was hot. Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
So
giving
that's
thanks.
gonna wrap it up.
Yeah, we about to seal it up tonight. We thankful for all checking in. And yeah, we at it again and again, man. Peace and blessings.
That was Brother Malik Shabazz.
Race first, man. Give thanks.
Race first.
Yes, sir.
Oh, you can catch it. Can we give where we catch us at? On Instagram?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, you can catch me on Instagram, Nia Shabazz. That's Niashabazz. And you can catch me on Facebook, Malik Shabazz, and there's a lot of them. Just look for the picture in the corner. Is a Klansman playing chess with a brother. That's me.
Yeah.
And you can catch me in Miami, Florida, every last Friday of the month at the Underground Railroad Conscious Culture, which I've been hosting for the past 8 years at the Haile Selassie Learning and Community Center. Or you can just catch me on the road, because I be on the go, toe-to-toe, blow-to-blow without no H2O, bro.
You gotta get better at that.
Yeah, that's fair. Give
Yo,
thanks,
Rich,
man.
Respect. Yes, I.
Yes, indeed. Give thanks, man. Peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings, family. Stay strong, keep the faith, and we will be victorious. I think Che Guevara said, hasta la victoria, siempre.
Yes, sir.